talking again to Gary Motovich from the new Motorplex in Kwinana. It's been some time since we actually took footage and had a walk around. We were good enough to get Mr O'Neill's helicopter to go down and have a bit of a run around there a couple of weeks ago. And as we'll see from the footage, there's even more work gone on since then. So, Gary, can you give us a bit of an overview of where we are since last time? And bearing in mind, we didn't have mounds last time we went down there.
Yeah, there's been a lot happening, Steve. It seems every day that goes by there's, another heap of dirt shifted and some more footings for another area or a bit of roadway in place. So, yeah, there's a lot happening. The contractors have been doing a fantastic job. And we're amazed at just how they can coordinate so many people at one time moving so much stuff.
And as we know now, of course, you've even got the program out. You've actually got your dates pretty well set in concrete now as to when you're going to start and how many meetings you've got and so on.
Well, that's right, yep. The opening weekend is November 17th and 18th, which is Speedway on the Friday night and drag racing on the Saturday night, but we're doing that all as a grand opening over the 2 nights. And it is very tight for the contractors. They are doing a fine job trying to fit in with our needs as far as what is a definite need to be completely finished for opening night, and is there any areas where they can actually finish over the time immediately after that, some little bits and pieces perhaps. But it's a huge ask for them. I mean, just to see the amount of work that's happening is absolutely amazing.
Yeah. But since we were last down there, the amount of earth that must have been shifted to create the mounds. I mean, last time we were down there, really the mounds were, what, 2, 3, maybe 4 metres high. And what height are the actual mounds at the moment?
Well, it depends where you measure them from, of course, but they're actually about 6 or 7 metres above the actual racing surface. But for example, on the back side of the drag racing mound, there was a hollow there to start with, and that's like 13 metres from the top to the bottom, so it's a huge drop. But really, there was around about 1 million cubic metres of earth that was cut to fill. They cut about 500,000 cubic metres, and they placed that amount somewhere else.
So most of the material was actually taken off site. There wasn't much cut in at all, or was it?
Well, that was part of the trick that the design consultants came up with, was that we had some special features we wanted to get out of the facility, and they then designed all the heights and that so they could actually get a cut to fill. In other words, whatever they cut, they used for fill, and their target was not to have to take any off-site and not to have to bring any on-site, which they've achieved fairly much.
We're talking a little bit earlier about the concept of where the cars come through the gate, where the people first see them. From the film today, we probably won't see much because it's only just starting, but just talk to us a little bit about where the cars come through and the overpass from mount to mount and so on.
Okay, well, there's 2 areas, one with the drag strip and one with the speedway. Firstly, with the drag strip, there's a tunnel arrangement which goes right across the start line, and the cars actually will come out of a tunnel in each lane, and it'll give that amphitheatre type concept, bit of the gladiators coming to do war, and it's all building up the atmosphere and the fun side of the stuff, which is so very important to to the actual racing side. And on the speedway, it's the same thing. We have a staging lane area for the speedway cars, and they come out of a bit of a chute down onto the track, and it's quite banked where they come out, and it'll be quite spectacular to see them coming out on the track, both in drag racing and speedway.
And on the speedway side of it, were you well and truly on the way with the fencing and all the safety fencing on the actual speedway track?
Yes, on the speedway track, a lot of the barriers are already in place, along with the poles for the debris fence, for the catch fence. In the drag racing side of things, they've already started the barriers down in the braking area, and they are very substantial barriers.
Yeah. And you were talking at the club meeting, the drag club meeting just recently, about the lighting. You've got that in place now as far as what's going to be organised there?
Yeah, we were very fortunate that Musco Lighting from the US were selected. They've actually lit most of the drag racing and speedway quality facilities in the US, and they are absolute experts. And they flew out from America, and actually we set the bar very high for the lighting standards that we wanted, and Conmagro has spent a lot of years with lighting at Claremont, which was perhaps the best lit speedway anywhere in this country. And we set the bar very high, and they said, well, most tracks don't have lighting at that level, and they actually educated us on how important it was to get the lighting levels right, but not only that, to make sure you didn't get the glare in the TV cameras and things like that. And in the spectator's eyes and the driver's eyes, and they spent so much time on just very fine manoeuvring of lighting heights and distances back from the track, just to make sure that the drivers, the spectators and the TV cameras got the best lighting.
And you've even gone so far as you've already organised pricing on ticketing so that you can actually buy discount tickets if you buy various passes. You can even get them now.
Yeah, one of the most important concepts of the Motorplex was we wanted to make sure that the average person that wanted to come down, the budget-conscious person, even those that perhaps couldn't normally afford to go to, say, Claremont or Ravenswood, how could we get it so that it was more affordable for those people? And so what we did, we broke the facility up into areas which had a general admission area, then it had a bronze area, and then it had a silver and a gold area. And that way we were able to reduce the price to $17 general admission for normal speedway and drag racing events, including GST, whereas last year it was $18 at Ravenswood and Claremont without the GST. So by manipulating the areas around, we were able to provide different levels of service for people, because there was a lot of people that didn't really want to go into the pits, wanted to get a cheap ticket because they couldn't afford all the add-ons and they didn't really want the add-ons, so we managed to look after them. We also changed a few things, like at Ravenswood we didn't ever have concession tickets. Well, we now have concessions, and at Speedway the kids paid from 5 years and up. Well, now we've made everyone under 10 free. So we've tried to cater for the budget end of the market. And at the other end of the market, we had a lot of people saying, look, I want to have my own seat. I want to be able to go and get a hamburger or go and see the race cars in the pits. But when I come back, I want my seat to be empty. So we've catered for those people as well by having the gold fixed seating. And the silver pass, of course, includes access to the pits as well as a good view from the spectator areas.
And so if anyone wants to talk about season passes, they can actually get in touch with the Motorplex office. You've got all that pricing organised.
Yep, if they contact the Motorplex office or they look on the website, which is motorplex.com.au, they can look on there and they can see the different style of seating that's available, and they can see the pricing on there, and they can see the season's memberships that are available, and those memberships are available for the general admittance ticket right the way through to the reserve gold ticket, and it's very clearly laid out, so people can sort of choose which one suits their budget and suits what they want to get out of their racing.
Okay, well, thanks for talking to us again, and hopefully maybe another month or so we can have another look, and it's going to be a lot closer then, I guess.
I'd love to do it. We're getting close now. It's something like 13 and a half weeks, not that I'm counting, but we're getting pretty close.
Okay, thanks again, Gary.
Thanks, Dave.